hearing process is then explained to the parent. There are 4 steps. First, the school administrator will present the school's charges and evidence and again state the recommendation for discipline. When the administrator is finished, questions will be asked by both the hearing officer and the student advocate. After we hear from the administrator, the student would then be given the opportunity to tell their side of the incident, and then questions would be asked of the student. The third step requires that the parent and student leave the room so that we may deliberate. And the fourth and final step is when we all return and a decision is rendered regarding the charges and the discipline. All of the things that have been previously mentioned are preliminary steps to the hearing process. At this point, the hearing would actually begin with the administrator stating the charges and what the evidence is. Questions are asked of the administrator, and the parent is asked to refrain from making any comment. However, if the parent does have questions, I would allow that the parent ask questions at that time. The hearing officer's role is to facilitate the hearing and ensure that order is maintained throughout the hearing process. After the administrator has finished their side, then the student would give their account. Questions would be asked of the student, and then after we have heard from the administrator and the student, the parent is then allowed time to make comments on their child's behalf in regards to the incident, or anything at all that they would like to share on their child's behalf can be discussed at that time. Into the deliberation phase, and when we all return, I would give my decision in regards to the charges and the discipline. In the event that I did not agree with the school's recommendation, I would give some other type of discipline which could be less than what the school recommends. At this time, the student is given the decision, and also conditions of reinstatement are given if necessary. If the student is going to be out of school, there are things that we require the student to complete before they would be able to re-enroll in the district. Those conditions can range from community service, counseling, drug assessment or drug screen, writing a paper. It could be multiple things, and the student the process would be explained to the student. They would be referred to the appropriate agency, and then the reinstatement meeting would take place at the expiration of the suspension or expulsion period, at which point, if the conditions have been met, the student would then be reinstated to school. For students that are suspended or expelled from school in excess of 1 semester, if we're talking secondary students, elementary age students are, if they're suspended greater than a semester, they are given the opportunity to appeal to a designee of the Board of Education. High school students, if they are suspended greater than a trimester, can also appeal the process. There is a timeline for appeal. They are given 5 days from the date of receipt of the letter that states the outcome of the hearing, and during that time of appeal, the student does remain on suspension. And in the event that their appeal is granted, it could mean a modification of the suspension conditions. It could be an overturn of the decision. However, that decision is made by the designee, and they reserve the right to do as they see fit. They would review all of the information that is within the file and make a determination after meeting with the student and the family and having some dialogue in that regard.